Hello Year 4, I hope you are well. So our final home learning video for maths this year is going to focus on the bus stop division method that we've previously looked at. So when we are studying bus stop method and looking at division, there's a number of ways that we can go about that. But a really good technique to get into is to understand how many times a certain number can fit into another. So, to start you off, I would like you to tell me how many times does 4 go into 8? We'll go through the answer shortly. So, if you look on the slide here, you'll see that 4 goes into 8 twice. Now, the blue dots represent 4 and the red dots represent 8. And if you see how they line up, we can get 2 groups of 4 that will fit perfectly into the number 8. So, 4 goes into 8 2 times. But how would it work if we are looking to how many times 4 goes into 6? Give this one a go and we'll go through the answer in just a moment. How did you do? Because hopefully you'll see that 4 goes into 6 only once. So once again, the blue counters are representing 4 and 6 is being represented by the red counters. Now we can get one group of 4 into our 6. However, if we want any other numbers or any other counters, equate for remainders. So I've put 2 blue counters on there to make sure it matches up with the number we have below, which is 6, but they act as a remainder. So 4 goes into 6 one time, so we can get one group of 4 into 6, and 2 will be the remainder. Final one, how many times does 6 go into 4? Remember, the number has to fit perfectly into the other number we're looking at. So 6 has to fit perfectly into 4. So 6 doesn't go into 4 at all. We can't squeeze 6 into 4. 6 is a greater number than 4. So 6 does not go into 4 at all. So 6 goes into 4 0 times, but those 6 still remain there, so they count as any remainders. Now, this is useful to understand when you are doing the bus stop method. So in this example here, we are doing 68 divided by 4. And the first thing we need to look at is how many times does 4 go into 6? And you'll see that 4 goes into 6 one time, but it has 2 remainders left behind because we still got 2 parts of that 6 that don't fit in that group of 4 are kind of being left out. So there are 2 remainders. So our 2 remainders now get carried over from the tens column into the ones column, turning our 8 ones into 28 ones, as shown in the bus stop method here. So our next step is to divide 28 by 4, or see how many times 4 goes into 28. From that, we can see that it goes in 7 times, but it's still important to check if we have any remainders. Those of you working on the spicy sheet today will see that in some cases there are remainders left over, and if there are, you'll put a little R with the remainder with any remainders left behind it. So from this, we can see that 68 divided by 4 is 17. We can try it again with 48 divided by 6. This time, we need to see how many times 6 goes into 4. So how many times does our 6 go into 4? And as you know from earlier, 6 is a greater number than 4, so we cannot fit our 6 into a 4. So we now have 4 remainders because our 4 hasn't been able to go in with the 6, and our 4 tens now go into the ones column, turning it into 48, and now we see how many times 6 goes into 48. You will need to use your 6 times table to help you out with this. So if you're not sure, count up in 6s, and you'll see that 6 goes into 48 8 times. So 48 divided by 6 is 8. Look at what we've done on the slides carefully, because they'll give you all the help that you'll need when doing the bus stop method. The key thing to remember here is to look at how many times the number on the outside of the bus stop here. So in the question we've just done, that was 6. So the number we're dividing by, and looking at how many times it can go into a number. If it doesn't go in, the whole digit of that number goes over as a remainder, or any that left behind act as a remainder and carry on to the next step of the bus stop. So your questions are on your sheet for you today, Year 4. Give it your best shot, and best of luck.